Okay, now we're going to show you how to refill our new COC chip cartridges for the Workforce WF2530, 2540, and also for the Expression Home XP300, 400, and 200. Now the first thing I'm going to do, we're going to go over and fill the cartridges. Now the cartridges have a couple of unique things I'm going to point out to you. Now I'm going to show you the difference between an ARC and a COC chip programming. The ARC chips, the older chips, a lot of them have a little battery that can go bad. On the new Series 200 cartridges, we use a microprocessor instead. So these chips and cartridges can be mixed with Epson. So if you have 3 Epson in, you can put one of these in. On a lot of the ARC chips, you couldn't do it. There was no way you could do it. So, and the advantages on this chip, you don't have to replace any battery. On this chip, eventually, you're going to have to replace the battery because that's all there was when they first came out. So, COC chip, ARC chip. Now also on the cartridges, on the bottom, in that printer, it has a sensor in there that shines a light up. By putting this black lockout here, the light hits it, thinks it's full, cuts down on the error codes. These are no prime cartridges. Now the difference, when you see a cartridge that has 2 holes together, you have to constantly prime those cartridges every time you refill them. On our cartridges, there's no priming. You just fill it, put it in the machine, that's it. Now we sell an ultimate refill kit where we give you 2 sets of cartridges. So when one goes empty, you can take it out, put another one in. You don't have to fill them right then and there. Also, we give you a syringe for each color and a safety tip. Just slides on. Don't push them on too hard. You don't need to. And then what we show you in the instructions, you're going to cut them on a 45-degree angle, like that. We'll show you why in a minute, why that's important. So now I'm going to set it up, have a piece of paper towel handy. We sell an Ultra Pro pigmented ink or our Ultra Pro dye-based ink. Pigment ink is what Epson uses in the printer. So, just thought I'd show that to you before we go ahead and fill it. We'll fill the yellow one. Now in the Ultimate set, we have these little plugs that you're going to put in so you can store them. But if you get the single set, we don't supply the plugs. There's no need for it. You're going to take out the little yellow plug. And the reason why these are important, if the plug was sticking up too high, it'll jam in that machine. So that's why we have a little reservoir here, like a little bathtub. So the plug goes down inside like that. Okay? Now, take your syringe, fill it up with ink. Have a paper towel handy so you can blot it off and start to fill it. Our clear refillable cartridges are oversized and they'll hold up to 12 milliliters of ink. You just keep filling it up. And you should stop just around the top. And you can wipe it off and put the rubber plug back in. That's it. You've just filled the cartridge. That's how simple it is. Now I'm going to show you something that a lot of people should know. When you fill a cartridge, everybody puts it in their printer, their Epson printer, and then they say, well, it's not printing the color. There's got to be something wrong with the cartridge, or whatever. Well, we have a little way that you can test it before you put it in. Take an ordinary pen, break the little seal right there like that. That's all I want to do, break the seal. Printer's going to break the seal, so you can break it ahead of time. Then put the tip up through the bottom, pull back. Now you see, I'm getting plenty of ink. So now I know that cartridge is going to supply ink. If it doesn't print, it's not the cartridge. It's something to do with the printer. You might have to run a couple cleanings or whatever. Now you can return the ink back to the cartridge or put it back in the bottle. So that's how simple. Now every time it says cannot be recognized, you take it out, you fill it, you put it back in, it's going to reset the ink level. Now if you have two cartridges, you just put the other one in. You only fill or replace the cartridge when it says cannot recognize. You just can't do it randomly, because then you'll screw up Epson's ink count in the printer. That's how simple it was to fill these. Now on the other cartridges that are sold, the older style, you have to prime that every time. You have to do a prime on it, because you got to fill this little holding cell in here. You got to keep filling it up. Now it says to replace the cartridge. Lift the scanner lid. Cartridges will come over. These are Epson cartridges. So we can take them all out. Or you can mix them. If only one went empty, you can just replace it with one of our refillables, because our chips you can mix with the Epson cartridges. And take your cartridges, place them in, lock them down. Now if you notice the air hole back here, there's no plug in there. You don't want a plug in there. So if you put a plug in there, those cartridges will starve the print head and will not print. That's explained in the instructions. There. Now they're all in. I'm going to close the lid. I'm going to say OK. Going to be checking it. Says complete, say OK. Now here's where you get caught. See where it says replace the cartridges? So if you hit OK, it's going to bring you back into a loop, because Epson's checking it. It says replace the cartridges. What we should have done, instead of hitting OK, hit stop. Now it's checking. Says complete. So now I want you to do is, I don't want you to touch the OK. I want you to come over and hit stop, clear. Then you're going to get copy. You're going to go back to the regular menu. If you do it any other way, Epson's going to put you in a cycle. You're going to keep going back and forth. Lift the lid, put it down, because they're detecting a clone chip, or their firmware is detecting a clone chip. So that's it. You can go to menu and scroll down. Paper type. Always pick quality printing on the 2530, 2540, Workforce, and the Home Expression XP 300, 400, and 200. If you print any other mode, you're going to do many more cleanings, no matter what, just waste ink. If you do what I'm telling you to do, you'll do less cleanings, get a better print job, and the best part about it is, you'll save ink. May run a little slower, but that's the only way you can do it on this print head. Go to maintenance, ink levels, full. That's how simple it was.